And so it goes on in Isolation Kitchen. And today I'm going to show you how to do a pot roast. It's great for less expensive cuts of meat. This is a bit of rump, which is probably very good for a pot roast, but silver side or top side. And it's the way Cyanide mums used to do a Sunday roast. Firstly, what we want to do is to seal the beef, and it's more for colour than for kind of sealing any flavour in. Rapeseed oil, really good high temperature, put it in a frying pan. Hairy Bikers frying pan and big casserole dish. They're great, they're cheap, you can buy them online. There you go. No, we haven't been filming, have we? Do you know what I mean? Now roll it. This is peppercorns crushed and sea salt flakes. And I love it when it gets a bit of a crust, and black pepper and beef. Now all we do is, the first step, we brown this in a searing hot pan. Listen to that sizzle. Now you might remember when we were in Los Angeles, we had a pot roast then, but it wasn't beef, was it? That was pot. Anyway, Lee said, this is going to be better. And just keep turning with your hands until it's sealed, and don't forget to seal the ends. Oh, look at that. It's a lovely colour. It's a lovely piece of meat, this. Set that aside. Now, we don't waste any flavours. This is what I managed to find out in the fridge. Some potatoes, carrots, celery, some onions, some garlic, and I found some fresh horseradish root, beef and horseradish. Our family like horseradish, so we're going to put this into the pan, get a little colour on the potatoes with the remains of the beef fat and rapeseed oil. The onions can go in too. Actually, the carrots can go in as well. And just give these a swizz. Most cultures have their version of a pot roast. I remember one of the best we ever had was when we were doing Mums Know Best. And it was a Jewish lady, and she did the cholent or holland, which is like an all-in-one pot wonder with dumplings and beef that they have. Is it after the Sabbath, to break the Sabbath? By goodness, it was good. And we'll just give those a swizz in the fat. Take a minute. Now the veggies have got a bit of colour. We're going to deglaze the pan with some wine. Now we should be using red wine. We've drunk it all, so we've got some white wine. It's not right, but it will do the trick. In these times, needs must. Oh, look at that. Bubble away for a minute, just to boil the booze off. In your pan of choice, place Mr. Beef on the bottom. We waste no flavours. Oh, look at that. There's nice caramelisation from the beef in there. We pour all the veggies with that wine over the beef. Just turn my fan off. I'm clearing the house out. Now, come here. Horseradish sprinkled all over the top. If you can't get horseradish, don't do it. Or if you've got a jar of horseradish, a couple of slugs of that'll do very nicely in it. A couple of spoonfuls of horseradish sauce. Some celery. I quite like braised celery. And now, some stock. Again, I've run out of beef stock. It's chicken stock. Yeah, nah. Put that on there like so. Put the lid on. Put this in an oven for about 3 hours, should do nicely. A low oven, maybe 150. Turn the beef halfway through. I'm going to thicken the gravy up afterwards and serve it with some cabbage. Lovely. So, well, the beef shrunk a bit, but it wouldn't be a Sunday roast without the gravy, would it? We want a thick gravy. The veggies are all done. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to strain off the juice and thicken it the old way our mums used to do, with a bit of corn flour and water. Don't worry if that comes in. Now, there's the veggies. We'll pop this back. Now I've turned the oven off, so I'm just going to put this back into the oven to keep warm while I let the gravy. In here, I've got a lovely pan of greens. Look at that, bit of corn flour and water, really lovely gravy, meat juices, the wine and vegetable juices. Some lovely spring greens just steamed down. Now, let's get our pot roast out. Beautiful stuff. It doesn't look much the meat, but oh, it's tender. My heck, it's not going to feed a family, is it? But you know, these are hard times. The string out. Ooh. Oh. Get the string off. We don't want anybody choking now. There's not much chance of going to hospital, is there? Right. Let's just show you what it's like inside. Now this is, oh look at that. See, that's what pot roast should be like. You can't cut it. You know, you say pulled pork, but you know, top side, silver side. Any cheap cut can be like that. So we want these veggies. And if you think, good thing about pot roast is, all those flavours from the beef are going into the potatoes. And remember, the horseradish. So big gratings of horseradish, if you've got it. As I said, if not, just a couple of tablespoons of horseradish sauce from the jar. So you just as nice. That is hot. Of course it's hot, you idiot. It's just come out of the oven. Right, now. Some gravy. Something so comforting about this. Have a little bit on here, but then let people do what they want. So, oops, a mess there. Never mind, it's my house. That's that. The gravy, and one of my favourites, just simple greens. All I did with this, I washed the cabbage, I shredded it. The water that was on the greens is enough to steam it in, and a knob of butter. 5 minutes, steamed greens. And there we go. The isolation pot roast, lovely veggies, lovely greens. It's just the thing for bringing a bit of comfort. Stay safe and come on the NHS, we're proud of you.